Hello, and welcome to our basic English course, elementary level, courtesy of Us Academic. My name is Kaveel Mohan, and I want to welcome you to start this course together and let's learn some English. Moving on to slide 2, it gives you a little bit more detail into what you can expect from this course. So, we're going to look at improving your reading, writing, and speaking skills. And as you know, there are 12 tenses, and this focuses specifically on the past tense grammar. So practice in relation to that. We're also going to look at an introduction to new commonplace vocabulary, words that you would use every day in conversations. And this is going to help you excel at that. Moving on to the next slide, and it says, in this course, you will learn past tense verbs in the contents of structure and timing. So where exactly they fit in. Also, we're going to look at the differences between irregular and regular verbs. Now, this is a common topic that confuses many students. Some ask, what is an irregular verb? What is a regular verb? So this is going to bridge the gap so that we are able to understand the differences and use them in the right way. Moving on to point 3, which talks about practice using verbs in the past simple tense. As I mentioned earlier, they're going to focus on the past simple tense, which is one out of the 12 tenses that we actually have. Lastly, we're going to look at continue improving reading comprehension skills. So a big focus on reading, and as you build up those skills, we can get them to a point where it sounds natural and it flows, and this will be better for you, especially during presentations and any sort of readings in public. Moving on to our next slide, Ask Academic has provided us with 3 golden tips. Now, I just want to remind you guys that this is just a guideline, and you, however, can use these tips if you'd like. You could make your own tips as well. You could have more than 3, you could have 6, you could have 2. It all depends on you. You can also take our tips and add on to it. So like take it, make it your own and make it fantastic, and this will help to get you to that next level. Number 1 speaks about writing down notes such as grammar rules and vocabulary, and this is an excellent tip for learning any language. You have to know the grammar rules and vocabulary so you can use them efficiently. Number 2 talks about using flashcards where you note down words you have never heard before, and you could also look up their definitions. Now, with my personal opinion, I think it's good to write down the words, and I always tell my students to do it a couple of times. The more you write it, the better the word absorbs into your mind. You can also take the definitions from the dictionary, personalize them, provided that they still stand true to its meaning, and put them as well on the same piece of paper or the pages that you are using so you can associate them with each other and use them in the correct way. Tip 3 speaks about reading stories and articles more than once for clear understanding. And this is important. Even native speakers do this during exams and tests. We read through our comprehensions more than once, and we may even skim through them after, and this is just to get clarity so we are able to answer the questions that follow. It will also help to build upon vocab, and yes, as I said, building upon vocab, introducing you to new words. Moving on to our next slide, we have a weekly planner running from Monday all the way to Sunday, and again, this is just a guide, so you can write down any goals, any objectives that you hope to achieve by the different days. And as you can see, the second part shows my goals for this week. Now, it gives you a couple of goals and it says 7 goals. You could have 14, you could have 3, or long as they are realistic and achievable. For instance, you cannot expect to understand 90% of the English language during a week, considering that this is the beginner course. That's not a realistic goal. A realistic goal would be to gain 5 words or learn 5 words every day and with their definition. So that you can achieve this and move forward through the course. Notes is anything extra you want to add to the course, and just remember, back with the goals, keep them realistic and something achievable. Don't just have goals that you are never going to achieve and you just noting them down on the paper just to say that, hey, I've come up with these goals, and you're not actually working towards them. Looking at this slide, it goes into the content. As you can see, 6 chapters, starting with the banana is yellow, moving on to Sally's interview and the world of movies, a Caribbean cruise, Chinese laws, and lastly, chapter 6, which says love, like, and wanted. We've now reached the end of our introduction, and I will see you in the next chapter, which is chapter 1. So goodbye for now.